Hey babe, last night when I was lying in bed scrolling through social media, I found myself in one of those aimless states where time seems to drift by without any real sense of purpose. You know the kind of moments I'm talking about, those in between spaces when you're not quite ready to sleep, but you're also not doing anything particularly productive. The room was quiet, and I was alone. The third person wasn't there. She was likely in the kitchen, perhaps finishing up some chores or busying herself with something else. As I stared at the ceiling, I felt a mix of relaxation and restlessness. I grabbed my phone, hoping to distract myself or find something engaging to fill the time. I started scrolling through my feed, looking at posts, pictures, and videos, the usual mix of random content that populates our screens. Time slipped away faster than I realized, and soon I noticed I'd been scrolling for almost half an hour. I didn't think much of it until something unexpected appeared on my screen. Out of nowhere, I saw a picture of you. It wasn't just any picture, but one of those candid, breathtaking photos that seemed to capture the essence of who you are. My thumb froze mid-scroll, and everything else around me seemed to blur out of focus. For a moment, it felt like time stood still, and all I could see was you. There was something so striking about the way you looked in that photo. It wasn't just about your appearance, though you looked incredible, but also the energy you radiated. It was like the image carried an invisible weight, one that pulled me into a deeper state of reflection. I put my phone down and let myself be present with the thoughts that were beginning to stir in my mind. As I stared at your picture, memories of us flooded back. I thought about all the moments we've shared, the laughter, the challenges, the late night talks, and the quiet, intimate times that didn't need words. I thought about how you've been my constant, my anchor, and my light. But then something surprising happened. My mind, unbidden, started to draw comparisons. I wasn't looking to do this, it just happened. I began to think about you and the third person in a way I hadn't before. It wasn't a deliberate or conscious decision, but once the comparison entered my thoughts, I couldn't push it away. As I sat there with these thoughts, I realized something significant, something I feel I need to share with you. I want you to know that this wasn't about questioning my feelings for you. Quite the opposite, in fact. It was a moment of clarity, one that brought a deep understanding of what you truly mean to me and how profoundly you've impacted my life. When I thought about you, the first thing that stood out was how you make me feel about myself. With you, I feel seen, valued, and respected. You've always treated me with a level of love and kindness that feels rare in this world. When I'm with you, I feel like I can be my authentic self without fear of judgment or criticism. You've never made me feel small, insignificant, or unimportant. Instead, you've uplifted me, encouraged me, and reminded me of my worth even during times when I struggled to see it myself. On the other hand, when I thought about the third person, I realized something starkly different. There have been moments with her when I felt the opposite of what I feel with you. Times when I felt judged, diminished, or undervalued. Moments when my thoughts and feelings didn't seem to matter as much, or when I questioned my own worth because of her words or actions. This realization hit me hard because it made me see just how much I've taken for granted the love and support you give me. You've been my safe space, my confidant, and my greatest source of strength. With you, I feel a sense of peace and belonging that I've never felt anywhere else. I want to tell you about one specific memory that came to mind as I reflected on this. Do you remember that time when I was going through a rough patch and doubting myself? It was one of those days when everything felt like it was falling apart. I remember sitting on the couch, feeling overwhelmed and defeated. You didn't say much, you just sat beside me, held my hand, and reminded me that it was okay to feel what I was feeling. You told me that I didn't have to have it all figured out and that I was stronger than I realized. That simple act of being there for me, of holding space for my vulnerability, meant more to me than words can express. Contrast that with the time I spent with the third person. I was sharing something personal with her, hoping for support or understanding. But instead, I was met with indifference. She brushed off my feelings and made me feel like I was overreacting. It was a small moment, but it left a lasting impression. It's moments like those that made me realize the difference between being truly seen and merely tolerated. Babe, last night's reflection wasn't just about comparing you to someone else. It was about recognizing the depth of my feelings for you and appreciating the incredible person you are. You have a way of making life brighter, of turning ordinary moments into something extraordinary. I know I don't always say it, but I want you to know how much you mean to me. You've taught me the true meaning of love, not just the romantic kind, but the kind that nurtures, heals, and uplifts. You've shown me that love is about acceptance, patience, and understanding. It's about being there for each other through the highs and lows, and finding beauty in the journey, even when it's not perfect. As I sit here writing this, I feel a renewed sense of gratitude for you and for the love we share. I don't ever want to take you for granted or let you feel like you're anything less than the amazing person you are. You've given me so much, and I want to do the same for you. Thank you for being you, for loving me, and for showing me what it means to be truly loved. You're my rock, my inspiration, and my greatest blessing. I'm so grateful to have you in my life, and I promise to never lose sight of the incredible bond we share. Let's keep building this love together, babe. Let's keep growing, learning, and supporting each other. Because with you, I know that anything is possible.